explaining the deceptive push where politicians push people into manual labour jobs over high academic jobs like psychologists, politicians, or whatever high academic level jobs you can think of. So the deception that manipulative or oppressive political actors do is they will end up having an over push or a main push or only pushing people into manual labour jobs because they don't want people going into high academic jobs, because a populace that is ignorant, a populace that is uneducated, is easier to control and easier to manipulate. It's like with authoritarians or fascists, they just want everybody to be stupid or less intelligent because they're more likely to hold truth to their power or to critique their power. So the more academic they make people, whether it's like teaching, like getting people to go to college, university to study politics, philosophy, psychology, sciences, all these things, they improve your critical thinking. They improve your logical skills, your reasoning skills. And the more informed people are, the more they're going to be aware of propaganda, disinformation, talking points. It's just like they don't want people to go into learning media literacy or journalism, because they want less and less people to be going into these type of jobs that are more likely to want to expose their corruption, to expose their lies and their deceit. So just be wary when you start hearing liberal politicians, conservative politicians start having a massive push in all these manual labour jobs. Quite often it's a deceptive strategy in order to make people ignorant. The less academic jobs for these people, the better it is, because they're not going to hold truth to power. So you just need to be wary when politicians start talking about this route. And it's just a matter you need to make sure that they're not just pushing them into the manual labour jobs, but they should still be encouraging what I'm calling high academic jobs as well. You want to make sure that they're not actually over pushing into manual labour over high academic jobs, for lack of a better term. So this is me kind of like debunking or translating, politics, making note of the deceptive, manipulative strategies the politicians use to maintain their power, making the populace ignorant, less likely to critique, less likely to argue. That's the first part of the video. If you got this far, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, watch old videos or whatever. And it's another thing you need to be watch out for, as well as an added thing, is you need to watch out for patriotic education, or putting pro-culture things into the curriculum, because it's like patriotic education. It's all about getting people and manipulating children to idolize their country no matter what, and to never critique their country. They expect you to drink raw sewage and to shut up and just drink it and just ignore all the issues and all the oppression you might be going through. So you also need to watch out for this patriotic education thing, because they might I think they are basically trying to brainwash you to idolize your country no matter what, where the whole lie about critiquing your country is these people, they hate their country, they're trying to destroy their country. No, you critique the country because you want to make the country better. True patriots critique their country and always want to make their country better. This is a mark of people that actually value their country, not the people that hate their country. And this is why they want to force patriotic education into schools. So, never trust political parties when they want to force people to to idolize their country no matter what, and forcing this patriotic education type stuff. That's something else you also want to be wary of in politics. So that is 2 deceptive strategies. Never, you never really should trust it when they have an over push and only push into manual labor jobs, or when they start teaching patriotic education to make you brainwash you into value your country. This is something that that they did in Hitler's Germany in the 1930s or 1940s. They incorporated things like this into education, and this is a thing that oppressive leaders throughout history. These are that is a tactic that they do, is pushing about valuing your culture and valuing the heritage, and then the day culture and all that heritage stuff is not going to put food on your table. Because when it comes to an idea of how to help culture to survive, is that they're saying, and they're saying this propaganda about these people hate their culture and hate their heritage, but they never actually give you solutions, and they never actually try to talk to you about solutions, how to make culture survive. One of my ideas in the UK, or in Wales with the Eisteddfod, is getting to do every other year a joint culture event, and this would also help with integration. So 1 year you'd have a pure Welsh Eisteddfod event, for example, and then the next year you do a Welsh event and a Chinese event, culture event. The next year then you do a Welsh event. The year after that you do a Welsh culture and an Indian culture mixed into one, and then you could do the next year then it'd be back to Welsh, the normal Eisteddfod, and then the year after that you could do a full-on culture events where it's trying to bring all cultures together, whether it's Hindi, Christian, Muslim, British, Chinese, Japanese, getting all cultures to go together. Because in order to help cultures to survive, you need to attach them together. So when one culture improves, and the other culture improves as well. So that's what the purpose of these joint culture events. But it's just a thing you need to be wary of teaching this kind of stuff in school. And it's just if Reform wanted to get this stuff in education, they would need to pass it together with things like critical thinking skills to make the populace more intelligent, media literacy training skills to not only make the country more popular, make the country more intelligent, but also how to interpret the media. Because you need to be wary that they're teaching patriotic education, valuing culture, and they're not teaching media literacy. They're not teaching critical thinking. That's when they're not teaching ethics or morality or anti-discrimination. That's something you need to be wary of. And if they actually did want to get these things passed and actually have multi-party support, I can't remember what the bipartisan support. If you wanted to get all the parties to work together, you'd have to have a Welsh baccalaureate, or a British baccalaureate, however you say that word, I can't pronounce it today. And then having it to teach all these things together. And, you know, I thought of having, like, you have this one lesson and it changes every, like, half a term, every, like, 5 months of the year. It changes to a new study. Like, for like 5 months, they would teach ethics, 5 months media literacy, 5 months critical thinking, 5 months financial literacy, 5 months about, you know, teaching like the history of the country and things like that, and teaching like British culture and things like that. If they wanted to get this stuff done with bipartisan support, they'd be wanting to, you know, to bring parties together to have consensus and bipartisan support, which means like multiple parties of different sides working together to get things done. They would have to do these things as a package, as a package deal. You know, if you're going to teach patriotic education, you have to teach media literacy and critical thinking skills. Anyway, that's a long video. I went from one thing, it bounced into another thing, because it's all connected and it's all important to learn. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe for more content. Watch my old videos. I really appreciate you for watching the video. Share the video with your friends and family. It's important that everybody knows this stuff. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you.